The human eye part already we have done. Myopia yesterday we have finished. Is that clear to you? Myopia, is that clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Then the next one is hypermetropia, the opposite of this case. Hypermetropia, that is far-sightedness. That means a person is able to see far point distant objects clearly. Near point distant objects is the problem with the near point distant objects. That means he can drive, he can see everything written on the board. Problem with from his notebook or a textbook, he is not able to read and write properly. That means his near vision is defected. It's problematic. It becomes problematic. Near vision. So problem with the near point. What has happened? The near point actually for all human beings, the near point is 25 centimeter. Now for this person, that 25 centimeter distance again increased. So it has gone beyond 25 centimeter. Let's suppose 50 centimeter. That means anything beyond 50 centimeter he is able to see. But anything within 50 centimeter, that is 25 to 50. 25 till now we are also not able to see. The normal human beings cannot see till 25. Beyond 25 till 50 centimeter distance, that person, that hypermetropic eyed person cannot see. So he has a problem with the this input. So here is the actual near point. This is the actual near point you can see. From that, whatever the image rays are falling on the eye lens, they are converging beyond, behind the retina. So there is no retina, no rods, no cones. Conversion will not be possible. Conversion into electrical impulses is not possible. The brain cannot get the information. So how it will process it? So processing cannot be done. So that is a problem with the near point because this near point has been shifted to some more distance here. So this is a near point, actual near point of the normal human adult. Now here to here, that is now this is a changed near point of the person. So from this, when the rays are falling on the lens, they are converging exactly at retina, and retina is able to send the information to the brain, and brain is processing it. So problem with this to this distance, n to n dash is the problem. So the person is not able to see anything kept between n to n dash. So that is hypermetropia. Is that clear, the problem?
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now what are the causes of it? Causes is one is this has gone back. That means the shrinking of eyeball. Eyeball may have shrunk. So that's the reason ciliary muscles are working properly, but the screen is not at proper position. So therefore the image cannot be processed. One reason, that is the eyeball has become too small. This is one of the probable reason. And the second reason is ciliary muscles. Here to see the nearby distant objects, the ciliary muscles should contract or relax.
Contract.
They contract. So they are not able to contract to a maximum value. That means the focal length has been increased because the thickness of the eye lens is not able to change by the ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles are not able to change the thickness, increase the thickness of the eye lens to a proper value, due to which the eye lens remain thinner and the focal length remain increased. It is not able to contract to a required value. So decrease in the focal length is not happening till a maximum limit. So that is the one of the problem that happens due to improper contraction of ciliary muscles. So here focal length of the eye lens is too long. That means it should be till this part, but now it is increased. It is not able to come to this point again. So that focal length is not able to change till n. So therefore, these are the probable reasons of hypermetropia. And now correction can be done by using a spectacle having convex lens. So function of convex lens, what it does, problem is the n value, it has to be shifted to n dash. In this range, the person is not able to see anything properly. So that means the image of this object has to be formed at n dash, that is changed near point. So that way we use the 6 case. In the 6 case of the convex lens, we know that is when the object is kept closer, very close to the lens, the image is formed behind the object. That means the object is brought to a farther distance due to this convex lens. So therefore we are using here the convex lens, due to which the object which is present at n has been shifted. So image of that is formed at n dash, and from n dash now that image will become object for the convex lens of eye lens. Rays will fall and they will converge at eye, and the image is formed at eye. So rods and cones convert that information into electrical signals and pass it to brain. Brain will process, and then the person is able to see the objects. So what he is looking at, the image. Image is formed by the convex lens, what the spectacle he is wearing. So whoever the person are wearing have this problem, so they can see the objects bigger than the actual size, because convex lens magnifies the images. And on the same side, these are all virtual images. Object on the same position, image is also the same position. Convex lens's function is to bring the form the image beyond the object, means far away from the object. And in case of concave lens, it will form the virtual image, which is lesser distance. It will form the image closer to the lens. So here we are using convex lens for correction. Is that part clear? Method, this one, what concept clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Then write down. And these three diagrams, draw these three diagrams. So what is n? N is the actual near point of the normal human people, normal human adult, and n dash is a changed near point of hypermetropic eye.
Ma'am, should we draw this now?
Yes, you have to. Have you done?
No, ma'am, I'm drawing the diagrams.
Ma'am, done.
Correction have you written?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, done.
Okay.
Ma'am, done, ma'am.
I'm done, ma'am.
Okay. The next is presbyopia. This is a defect. Actually, it is a presbyopia. It's actually a hypermetropia. Everyone completed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the next one is presbyopia. Presbyopia is actually a hypermetropia in most of the cases, not always, but most of the cases. But the reason is not these two mentioned reasons. So those reasons are actually the old age. Due to old age, when the age beyond the person reaches beyond 45, 50 years of age, after that his eyesight becomes weak. Actually, the ciliary muscles become weaker. So due to aging, the ciliary muscles have acted for 40 to 45 to 50 years of a time. So those wounds worn out, wear and tear takes place in the ciliary muscles. So therefore, they lose their flexibility. After the one age, they lose their flexibility. Ciliary muscles lose flexibility, and due to which the initially the nearby vision gets damaged, and slowly it will the far point distant this one far side short sightedness also will be the problem. That is, a person is not able to see the nearby distant objects also clearly in the beginning stages, and finally after some years he will have the problem with the far sight also. So that is called as presbyopia. This is
Is
called,
cataract
yes,
Yes,
what?
cataract.
Cataract is different. Cataract is the different part.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
so presbyopia is hypermetropia, but because of old age.
because of the old age. And it will not be always only hypermetropia. It starts with hypermetropia. First, the contraction, the ciliary muscles lose the possibility of flexibility in contraction. So they are not able to contract fully. And slowly after some years of age, then the problem will be both. So you have seen the person don't have any problem, and immediately after that he is not able to see clearly. So problem starts from 45 years of age. Slowly he is not able to see. So that happens not because of any other reasons. The reason is the weakening of the ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles get weakened out due to worn out cells. Wears and tears, they are also mushes, they are also contracting and relaxing. So that much 45 years of age, till 45, 50 years of age, that has happened. So due to that, they wears out. So due to wearing out, they become weak. They lose their flexibility. So
Okay.
due to loss of flexibility, they are not able to, initially the contraction problem and then the relaxation problem.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that is, now if the person has only hypermetropia in the beginning case, presbyopia, but that due to the weakening of ciliary muscles that has happened. So initial stage, it is the reading and writing problem. So at that time, he has to use the spectacle having convex lens, because that is a hypermetropic eye remedy. So convex lens. But if the person has both the defects, so at that time that person has to wear a bifocal lens. Now what is bifocal lens? So bifocal lens means two lenses in a one spectacle. So in the lower portion one lens and the other portion another lens. So when we read and write, we look downwards. So that means the correction of the near sight has to be done. Near sight problem is there. So that correction can be done by convex lens. And while reading and writing, we always look downwards. So in the downward portion, the remedy for the reading and writing hypermetropic eye problem will be in the downward portion. So here at this portion, the lens is convex lens. And while looking the far sight distances, so at that time the person looks upwards. So upper part of the spectacle is used while seeing the far point distance. So for the remedy for that far point distance problem, the person has to wear a spectacle. So this portion is a concave lens. So this portion is a concave lens to correct myopia, and this portion is a convex lens to correct hypermetropia. So this, when two different lenses has been placed in a one spectacle, if the two different lenses are present in a one spectacle, then that is called as bifocal lens. Is that clear? So power of accommodation of an eye usually decreases with aging. It arises due to the gradual weakening of ciliary muscles and diminishing the flexibility of eye lens. Sometimes a person may suffer both myopia and hypermetropia. Such people often require bifocal lenses. A common type of bifocal lens consists of both concave and convex lenses. The upper portion consists of concave lens. It facilitates the distant vision, that is a correction of myopia, and the lower part is a convex lens. It facilitates the near vision, that means it will correct the hypermetropia. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Just write it down. Here no diagrams. But if by mistake or intentionally teacher will ask you questions to draw the ray diagram for correction, then you are explaining the hypermetropia only. Board won't ask, but yeah, school people can ask.
Ma'am,
Yes?
ma'am, this problem comes with old age, right?
Yeah, old age only.
Ma'am, if you already have hypermetropia or myopia, won't this problem become worse in old age?
It will again keep on increasing. The problem will keep on nearsight. Now it is initially your person have the problem. Hypermetropia is from the beginning. So it may be this one near point has been shifted to 50 centimeter distance. Now it will change to more. Now it will become 100 centimeter distance. Near point has been shifted, will shift to 100 centimeters. It will keep on increasing. It will not decrease. It will keep on increasing.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Or may remain the same also. So therefore, always you have to keep exercising eye. Eye exercise has to be done from the beginning to maintain your eyesight. What is the eye exercise? Do you know the good one? To maintain the flexibility of ciliary muscles?
Ma'am, I don't know any eye exercise.
The very simple thing is that in the morning, early in the morning, first thing you have to do, beginning or this one, when you wake up, at that time, don't see the mobile. First thing. Second thing, stand in your window and try looking downwards to your near distance and immediately farther distance. So keep this 50 times, do this 50 times.
50 times, ma'am.
50 times. And how much time it will take? 1 seconds it will take to see it downwards and upward, upward, downward, downward, upward. How long it will take? It's faster.
As soon as I wake up, I have to do it.
Yeah, if you do it, no, it's keep on doing that one. Whenever it is possible, do it.
Okay.
Okay, that is
Ma'am.
always, that is, yeah, that will help. Yes.
Even my father has the same problem. Point of his lens, right? It's all in one lens itself. How's that?
What?
My father has the same eye problem.
Yeah,
Above
both.
also. Yeah,
Both.
but then bifocal. Point
Huh.
is bifocal lens is completely joined together.
Yeah, they can be joined together. They can be mixed. One place, they will keep a place and in that they will fix. So
No, I don't.
first,
Because in this picture I've shown, they're stuck
yeah,
the convex
yeah,
lens.
this one. Yeah, in between this one. So
Point is,
here,
they merge the convex lens.
yes, both of them have been merged. When it is done, so they will cut out this portion. This much portion they will cut out. It is thicker. These are not thinner lenses. These are very thick lenses. And then in that portion, they will mix it and then they will join it together
Okay.
by melting.
So that's more costly compared to these glasses, right?
Yes.
Okay then.
Most of the people who have crossed 50, 60 age, they have this problem. So keep doing exercise, that won't happen. The earlier people are doing the same thing. No, I have not seen my granny has spectacles. She died, means my mother's grandmother. She died in front of me, it is at the age of 1995. But I have not seen any of the disease in her. Any single disease I have not seen. Even my granny also don't have the spectacles till now. She is now, I think so, 87 years age. No spectacles at all. The problem, one thing is these all media, that is the internet, TV, mobiles, smaller screen, more radiations are the main problems actually right now. And this year it will arise a lot. And this time the doctors, ENT doctors and this one opticians will get the huge profit. Completed.
No, ma'am.
Only writing, don't do that. Or try drawing the one picture only. This one. Computer.
Ma'am, done.
Okay. Fine. Then the next effect is cataract. So what do you mean by cataract? You know cataract means?
Yes, ma'am.
Meaning cataract is known, but actually what happens in that, do you know?
Yes, ma'am.
What happens?
Ma'am, a thin layer of film is formed above the eye.
Okay.
That's all I know, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Ma'am,
Cataract,
the vision will be cloudy kind of.
yes, cloudy because the lens
It's made.
becomes translucent, turbid. Eye lens is actually transparent. That's the reason refraction takes place and image formation is possible. But due to old age, one thin film of a layer, thin turbid layer is formed over the lens. So due to which the refraction is not possible, one thing. And the second thing is the full eye lens has become turbid, translucent. It will not remain transparent. That happens due to old age only. It becomes turbid. That is, it's completely become translucent surface. it will not be the transparent. Just like if you don't clean window panes, glass panes, then what will happen after some days or after 1 year, if you check out, if you have not cleaned it for a year, then what will happen?
It becomes cloudy, dusty.
Dusty, cloudy, and that dust stick to the glass and it is not able to remove also. The same thing happen in case of lens. Lens will lose its transparency because it is a membrane. So it is a jelly-like substance. So it will lose its transparency. It will become translucent. Even sometimes not the lens will not become transparent, but the upper layer will become translucent. A layer, one thin film is formed over it. So due to that, the eye person is not able to see anything. Everything looks hazy to the person. So that is called as cataract, and that can be done, cured or corrected by, if a only thin film is formed over it, by laser surgery, that thin film can be removed. A membrane is formed actually. So that thin membrane can be removed by laser surgery one way. And if the lens has become completely translucent, complete transparency, the lens has lost its full transparency, then that eye lens can be replaced with the artificial one. So surgery has to be done in both the cases. If it is thin film, only the laser surgery has been done. And if it is a lens is defected, gets problematic, damaged, then the full lens can be replaced. Okay, that is called cataract. That is one sentence somewhere it is given in the NCRT. That's it. Not much more in that. Is it clear? All the defects are clear. So 3 main defects you have to remember. One thing is myopia, short-sightedness, hypermetropia, that is far-sightedness, and the presbyopia, old age. Okay, but you should know what is cataract means. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, why do we have two eyes and at a certain distance horizontally? That there is a space between the two eyes. They are present horizontally. There is a space between two eyes. Why it is so?
Ma'am, I know.
Yes.
Ma'am, humans were originally hunters, right, ma'am? So to see in front of them.
Yeah. Only that one.
Yes, ma'am. Which is also why herbivores have eyes at the sides of their heads to cover more distance.
Yes. And what it facilitates actually.
Ma'am,
Is the front side, they are present on the front side, so we are able to see the front side. But why there are two eyes? And why there is a space between the eyes?
So that the image doesn't look cross, because you'll be seeing two images if there wasn't any distance between the two.
Try to close one eye and then try to find out the area of which view. How much area you can cover up. Clearly you can see. Clear vision.
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Clear how much area you can see.
Almost everything except for the extreme side.
Extreme size, that is actually 150 degrees are able to see. 30 degrees cannot be seen. So when we have two eyes at a certain distance, so that will facilitates us 180-degree view. Full horizontal view we can see. And another thing, they are spaced at distance. So due to which we are able to see the three-dimensional pictures. Otherwise it is only two-dimensional. With a one eye, we are able to see only flat pictures. And when we have the two eyes, and they should be, they are spaced at some distance, so due to which the thickness is a third dimension, we are able to see. Otherwise, only flat pictures with length and breadth. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So one thing, it will facilitates us 180-degree view. Second one, it gives us three-dimensional view. Otherwise, everything would have flat. Okay. So depth we are not able to recognize if we have only two eyes. Sorry, this way. One eye. Is it clear? So this is all about the human eye part. Now next part of this chapter is colorful world. Different colors we are able to see for due to what? So for that you have to start from the basic. That is refraction through glass prism. So next part is the refraction through glass prism. So now what is glass prism? What do you mean by prism first?
3D mirror.
Huh? What is prism means?
Ma'am, it's a shape, a lens which is in 3D.
I'm a triangular kind of mirror with a square as its base.
Mirror. Simple thing in maths. What do you mean by you have divided all the figures, three-dimensional figures, into prism and pyramids? So what is prism and what is pyramid means? What do you mean by prism?
Ma'am, a shape which has triangles in it as its and something as its base. Triangle as its base.
Not always.
Rectangle as its base.
What?
Square as its base?
Square as a space? No, not always.
Square
Amok, wait, Amok, yes?
Rectangle has its base and it's got two triangles on the sides.
Two triangles? Always? Then what do you mean by rectangular based prism? What do you mean by square based prism? What do you mean by hexagonal based prism?
Ma'am, it has anything as its base and it has 4 or 3 triangles.
4 or 3 triangles? From where you are getting triangle?
Sides, on its sides.
No,
3 or more than 3.
that is pyramid then, not prism.
Ma'am, then 3.
No,
Ma'am, then what is a prism?
you forgot just now. How couldn't you remember pyramid and prism means? Prism is not always triangular based. It is one of the type of prism is triangular based prism. It will not be always. So all the figures in which the top and bottom figure, base and the top are any congruent polygons and the lateral faces are rectangles. All of them are called prism. So top and bottom, that is base. Top and base can be anything. But the lateral faces are all rectangles. All of them are called as prisms. And out of that, we can categorize depending on the polygon at present at the top and base. Those are congruent polygons. Top and base should be a congruent polygons. Then it is called as prism. Otherwise, that is called frustum. If they are not congruent, then they are frustums, not prisms. So here top and bottom can be anything. It can be a triangle, it can be a rectangle, it can be a square, it can be a parallelogram, it can be a pentagon, it can be a hexagon, it can be an octagon, it can be a decagon also. So only thing is top and bottom base should be any type of polygon, but they should be congruent polygons. It should have equal sides and the length of the sides also should be equal. And the lateral faces are always rectangle. That means top and bottom should be connected together by rectangles. Then all of them are called as prisms. And here the prism in physics, what we are doing prism, that is a triangular based prism. So it is a triangular based prism. So that's the reason you remember only triangle. In physics only we are using the triangular. Cube is a one of the prism. Cuboid is one type of a prism. But they have given special names. That's cube and cuboid, that's it. Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
This is one of the prism, that is triangular based prism, whose top, this is a front, top portion and this is a bottom base. So these are both triangular shapes. And the sideways, the lateral faces of that are rectangles. This is one rectangle, beside that the second rectangle, and base is third rectangle, because there are 3 faces to the three sides, three edges to the triangle. So therefore, there are three rectangles. The lateral faces are rectangles here. In case of cube is also the same. In cube, the top and base faces are.
Is square, and then there'll be 4 rectangles.
Cube is squares. Four squares are there. Top and base is the square, and the sideways are the squares, rectangles, but in the shape of square. Okay. So that is the prism. Now we have to see the refraction through prism. So last chapter, you have seen the refraction through glass slab. In that is also one of the prism only. But in that case and this case, what is the difference? When you have seen the glass slab, it was a rectangular prism. In that, the refraction we have seen through two parallel edges. This face, this refractive face, and this refractive face are parallel to each other. So therefore the refraction takes place through this way. Now we are seeing the triangular base prism because we have to refract the light through the inclined faces. The two refractive faces are inclined to each other. Now how the refraction takes place, that you have to check. So here the refractive faces, this face is a refractive face and this face is a refractive face. So the refraction takes place through this way. Here I have shown already the diagram. So refraction takes place through the parallel faces. So therefore we have taken the example of this glass slab. And in this case, this is also a glass slab, but it is triangular based. And here the refraction is taking place through inclined faces. So these two faces through which the refraction is taking place, these two faces are inclined to each other at some angle, that is angle A. That angle is called angle of prism. The two refractive faces, this is a prism we have seen. We have kept it on the rectangular, one of the lateral face. We have placed the prism on one of the lateral faces and we have to see the refraction where, so from the front side, you can see that is two refractive faces are inclined to each other. So this is one refractive face and this side, this is another, this part is the another refractive face. So they are inclined to some angle. So that angle is angle of prism. An angle of prism plays a major role in the refraction. Different prisms having different angle of prisms refract differently. Okay. So therefore we have to see the refraction through prism. So when refraction through prism, the light enters through this way, that one of the face, and it is moves out, emerges out from the second face. So here if you see the front side, this is a triangular front side. Back side, it is a rectangular. Refractive face is back side. Here refractive face is back side of it. So that means this portion. Are you able to understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you can see the, if you keep this notebook in the triangular shape, then one head, one part, that is a front part of the notebook, the light is entering, and from the other end, the light is moving out. Is that clear? Many people have entered. Yeah. So here light is entering through one of the front page of the notebook, and the second end, that is a last page, it is moving out. If you place the notebook like this way, if you hold the notebook like this way, then that is a prism. Now here the light is entering through this. Light is entering, falling on from this side, it is moving like this way. Here it is falls obliquely on this surface. Then at that point you have to draw the perpendicular. This is the incident angle with known incident angle, that is 30 degree, 45 degree and 60 degrees. You have to perform the experiment for these angles. So first we have to mark one, at this point we have to draw the normal and make for this 30 degree angle, that is the incident ray, we have to mark like that. Then after drawing, we have to, this activity, the same activity what is performed for glass slab, we have to perform for this prism also. So in this case, light enters this way. Here we have to place 2 pins. We have to insert the 2 pins. We have to insert it here. Place the prism, and looking from this edge, we have to insert 2 more pins such that they all 4 are in one line. So they get placed at this and this position. Now after that, join these ends. Join with this pencil, scale. Join this one with the pencil already we have drawn. And then this point of contact and this point of contact, join it. So we will get the refraction structure like this. Are you able to understand? Suppose this is a prism. First, we have to draw one perpendicular line. That is a normal. First, we have to draw. At this point of contact, we have to make a 30-degree angle, and one line we have to draw. That is the incident ray. We have to mark it as an incident ray. This angle we have to mark as 30-degree. Then at this point, looking from this edge, we have to insert 2 pins here, 1 pin and 2 pins we have to insert. That is A and B. Now similar way, looking from this edge, on the bending down and looking from this edge, 2 more pins you have to insert such that it will come like this way, here and here. Now join these 2 points. Like this way you will get it. Now this point of contact and this point of contact, you have to join it. So refraction can be seen like this. So it is a straight line actually. So refraction can be seen like this way. The light ray has bent towards the base of the prism. So light ray, when it is moved obliquely, is made to fall obliquely on the one refractive face. So from the other refractive face, if it is emerging out, the emerging ray will be seen like this. So that means in a prism, the light rays get refracted downwards, that is towards the base. Now when we produce it forward, incident ray, actual incident ray, if we produce it forward, and this when we are producing backwards, they will remain inclined to each other. So the angle between them is called as angle of deviation D. So this angle will tell you how much our rays have been deviated from their normal position. How much rays have been bent. Actually, it has to pass through this, but it has bent through this path. So bending has been taken place, so we measure angle. In the case of glass slab, there was no bending. There is only displacement was there. From the actual portion, the actual light ray has to pass through this way, but the light ray has emerged from this way. So that means it has been shifted through some distance. So this distance we call as lateral displacement. But here they have not displaced, they have been bent through some angle. So that angle we call as angle of deviation. So this is angle I. This is angle R, we call it as R1. This is R2. And this angle is called as angle of emergence E. And in this case, in case of glass prism, they are not equal. I and E are not equal. I is not equal to E. In case of glass slab, it was I and E was equal. In prism, they are not equal. There is a relation between the angle I, angle E, angle of deviation, and this angle of prism A. So we'll study it next class. We'll do it next class. Okay, so we can leave now.
Ma'am, so we don't have to write this?
Don't know right now. Right now not needed. We'll write it next class.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Tomorrow trigonometry test is there at 8 o'clock. Do one thing. Tomorrow make it science class first, and then tomorrow is Friday, no?
Yes, ma'am.
So first we will do the this one science class, and then 9 o'clock will be the test.
Ma'am, and tomorrow at 5:30, the biology class.
Biology class will be there, yes.
Okay, ma'am.
And one more thing, and then Saturday also you have a test of remaining part of biology.
Day after tomorrow.
Yes, 2 parts you have done. Only nutrition and respiration is done. Then next is transportation and excretion.
Ma'am, transportation, excretion, what not diagram should we learn?
double circulation, excretion, nephron, excretory system, and nephron.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, should we draw the detailed diagram of the heart? Should we
Yes.
learn?
Yes, you have to learn that.
Yes, ma'am.
You'll always ask this. One of the exam, they will this one. Everyone they will circulate all the one of the paper, one diagram, second paper, second diagram. Like that full year you are drawing all the diagrams actually. This year nephron they have asked. One of the set they have the nephron diagram.
Ma'am, all these diagrams are there in the NCRT book, right?
Yeah, they are.
Okay. Fine.
Okay. So you can leave now.
Ma'am, when is the biology test, ma'am?
Saturday.